Well, hello there, boys and girls. My name is Buck, and welcome to the channel. We are off and rolling tonight. We're going to do a little stealth camping, and the camping destination is right across from the sheriff's office. Should be a hopefully a quiet, uneventful night, but you never know. We'll see what goes on. I would love to get started a little earlier in the day, but it is still February. We're still, the sunset, I believe it was 5:30 tonight, which it's 5:29 now, so I'm pretty close to there. We're losing the daylight. I really don't want to roll in there too early. I like to roll in a little bit after dark, wherever I'm going, and just sleep, get up in the morning, and get the heck out. That is the plan. I've got a little evening snack in mind. I ate my dinner this afternoon with my wife, watching some NASCAR, and then off I went. And I actually had two videos I wanted to put together today, and the other one I will put together in the morning, but I had a spot to do that. And I've done a couple of other videos out there. The tour of the truck and the camper I did out there, and it's a nice quiet lot. I went out there at about 4 o'clock while I had some good daylight to set up and record in. As you can see, we have some snow. So, yeah, it was a launch spot for snowmobilers. Busy, noisy. That video never happened. I will do that in the morning. The funny thing is, you will see that video before you see this one. So, we're still pretty much in Green Bay and its suburb area. Certainly no inner city area. There's not really much of an inner city in Green Bay. We have a nice, robust downtown, but we're a little south of town. Okay, all is well. The sun's gotten a little bit lower in the sky. So we're going to take a little cruise by, and I'll show you where we're spending the night. I could literally walk to this Quick Trip if I need a nature call during the night. So everything is good. I've actually had a few people ask that when I did my video for the layout. Where do you go to the bathroom? Well, I do what all truckers did. You know, we have a jug and we use that for doing the number one. And if I need to do the other, I will just hike right over here to the old Quick Trip. But all is well. That's enough of covering that. I'm going to switch here and I'll show you where we're at. Okay, you can see right across the street from me is the sheriff's office, Brown County Sheriff. Nice people. I've been in there with questions from time or two, and they've always been helpful. Our law enforcement in Green Bay is second to none. We've been here since 2016, and we've been quite happy here. It is a blue-collar town, home of the Packers. And my microphone is sitting on the seat, so I'm not sure how well this came through. So here we go. On the right is where we are going to be. Over here on the left, there is the sheriff's office. I'll turn in here and we will spin around and I'll give you all a closer look. You know, I have cruised through here a couple of times, and rarely am I the only van lifer, for lack of better descriptions, in here. But tonight I may be. I'll show you where I really like to hide. And there's somebody over there. I prefer the back corners. Okay, straight across is the sheriff's office. Nice and safe. Either nice and safe or get the hell out. We'll see. I love this back corner back here, but there's already something there. I might just squeeze in beside it. Doesn't look like it's... Nah, they're taking two spots too. All these spots, and they need two. That's okay, more room for us. And right there, I like that one, but there's somebody in a pickup truck there, so we will leave them be. One of the problems, or not necessarily problems, you just have to plan for it. If I was not in a four-wheel drive vehicle and knew the weather was getting warmer, not colder, it's in the high 20s right now, but if snow was on the way, I would be a little more interested in parking closer to the front, knowing that possibly by the time I left here in the morning, they've been through with the plow, and I might have a little bit of a pile to go through getting out. It's a little less of an issue in the four-wheel drive, but it was something that I always considered in the van. You'd always have to park knowing you might have to maybe back up a little bit and get a good running start. I don't have a shovel with me right now. I usually carry a shovel. I don't know where to put it in the Jeep. I'm just lower on space than the van. But that is the way it is. I'm gonna set a few things up. You don't have to watch my 64-year-old butt crawl over the center console here. I will get settled in the back and bring you back. So we'll talk to you shortly. So I'm just wrestling around in the back here, just kind of settling things in. The bed platform I already had put together, but I had to pack my gear, bring it in the house. I still have to lay out the sleeping bag. I still have to blow up the air mattress. A few things like that. Then I'm going to make some evening decaf, have a little snack, talk to you guys about a couple of things going on, and have some fun. Maybe catch a little movie, go to sleep. I wanted to give you a little, just a bird's eye view of where I am. So let's take a look out the windows here. Now the windows are tinted, but you can see across the street, there's the sheriff's office. That truck looks empty. I'm going to put that reflective back up. I'll tuck that in later when you guys don't have to listen to it. Now I'm going to turn the light off for a minute. The little SUV on the other side of me, I turned the light off and peeled back the reflectix, and yeah, there's somebody in there. I don't know if they're staying the night or what they're doing, but hey, we'll just all keep to ourselves. I got my keys handy. I can bolt in a heartbeat. Obviously my phone's right here, so we're all safe and secure. So I'm going to continue setting up. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use this heater tonight. I will have it set up to fire it up in the morning. You probably saw my video last week of my Jeep fireplace. It is the cat's ass, no doubt about it. You've seen this before, my Sterno stove. Maybe you haven't. I've done a couple of test videos working on my editing skills, so a lot of this will get cut right out. Look at the, I don't even think you can see that. This is an alcohol-based Sterno. You remember the old stuff, and you can still find it. In fact, I still have a jar or two of it at home. It smells so nasty. This is right there with an alcohol stove. It just doesn't put out a bad smell. There we go. So the water's boiling. Got my little packet of Taster's Nasty decaf here. Snack tonight will be, how about Hillshire Farm little ham, Swiss, some whole wheat crackers, and I have a protein bar if I'm a little hungry later, and I also have one for breakfast. Morning coffee will be a little better. I'm certainly not going to do the decaf in the morning, but this late in the evening, I'd just as soon stick with the decaf and be able to get some sleep. I did bring my 12-volt blanket. That is the one that shuts off after 45 minutes, but if I cover the sleeping bag with it, I will be fine. And, of course, I have a sleeping bag liner. This is a Kelty Cosmic 20, and this with the liner will do me. At 20, I just like my feet being warmer, so I packed in some hand warmers, and I will probably drop one of those in a sock that I brought along and put it down in the footwell and use that tonight as opposed to the 12-volt electric blanket. And if you did not, no, not USB port blanket. If you did not see my video on the USB blanket, go back and look at that. That was A, disappointment, and B, I'm lucky I didn't get hurt with that thing. Not one of my smartest moves, but it is what it is. A little steam going there. Let's add some coffee. Oh, there's a little more in there. Let's get it all. We'll give it a little stir. Doesn't look like the strongest in the world, but hey, it's an evening bedtime beverage. Still got a little cooking to do. It does not heat anywhere near as rapidly as propane, but you can see around the edges. We got a little boil going. Now we will replace that with that. Time for the good old Hillshire Farms cheese and crackers, boys and girls. You know, I had a couple of people ask me about my logo. And if you look, I'll try and put it up in the corner of the video right here. And that is the Gone with Buck logo. And I suppose I should give you a little bit of background about the name Gone with Buck before I tell you why the logo is what it is. I had the trucking podcast, I had our family camping, I had Tom and Chris camping. These were all websites and podcasts. I had the most success with the trucking podcast, and now that I am mostly retired from trucking, it's time to move on. So why don't I have a Jeep on the logo? Because I'm in a Jeep. I am not convinced this Jeep is going to be the long-term play. It's crammed in here. And until I get out and do some longer adventures and really get it dialed in, I don't know. I love the Jeep. It's almost as much fun to drive as the old VW buses. And what it lacks in fun to drive, it makes up in being able to go over 60, be dependable as hell, and go anywhere. But for those of you who don't know, I have owned 4 VW buses. 2 of them with the Westphalia Weekender package, which to me was the best one. It's a tin roof. It doesn't have the raised top. It will sleep 2 people. It has the little sink and the refrigerator, little countertop. It does not have a stove. But I love those things. I had a lot of fun with them. I had an old panel van that was about a 1958 or 59. Then I had a 73 passenger van. 73 was a unique year because it was the first year of the Porsche 914 engine, which was basically a glorified Volkswagen engine with the 914 Porsche motor, dual carbs. But it was a lot of fun. It was an automatic transmission. Wouldn't get out of its own way, but it went anywhere great in the snow. If I could get my hands on that, I would trade this for that all day long. The third one was a 78 Westphalia. Again, the same interior, only by 1978, they were smogged down, they were big enough, they were heavy enough. When that thing got on a slick road, it just spun 180 on me. That was well over 3,000 pounds. It was a heavy vehicle for a little 4-banger. The last one, and my favorite, was a 71 Weekender. That again was a unique year. The 1600 single carb motor was the most dependable motor they had. It was also the first year of front disc brakes. So there was some safety involved there. I had that one about a week and it caught on fire and burnt. So that was the end of that one. And I have decided I won't have another one because of the reliability issues, and darn it, they're just priced out of my range. But the heart of who I am is a guy who loves the road. 25 years of trucking. I have always come home at the end of the run. Sometimes it was a week, sometimes it was a couple of days. This last gig, sometimes it was 6, 7, 8 months because I'd hop a tour and then another tour and then get home between tours or have some time off during the tour to get home. But I've always loved the road, and I am blessed to have a wife who gets that about me. So here I am out having adventures with you all. So the VW bus doesn't represent what I mean and probably never will. But it represents my heart. It's within the spirit of the TV shows that I loved as a kid. Neither of them lasted very long. One was Then Came Bronson, and Bronson was a character who I don't remember all the background. I think we're talking 1972, so I was 11 for most of that year. But he rode his motorcycle all over the West and into Colorado and different places, and every episode was a different adventure with different people, and I just thought, wow, what a way to live. Later on, Moving On, Claude Aiken came out, and that had 2 seasons. And that told me I wanted to be a truck driver. And I didn't start driving a truck till I was 39. Yeah, 38, 39, I got my license. And I was always home on the weekends, sometimes a couple of nights during the week. As the kids finished school, I'd stay out a little longer, stay home a little longer. I've hauled livestock. I've hauled oversized. I spent the last 2.5 years hauling rock and roll bands. It has been an awesome journey, but now I'm hoping to do the road on my terms. So that logo with the VW bus in the middle of it and Gone with Buck says something about me. That won't change. If the Jeep changes to a van or a pickup and camper or a little sports car and I stay in hotels, that Volkswagen it's a symbol of my state of mind with my relationship with the road. And I will just leave it at that. But thank you guys for noticing. Are you getting a bus? What's the deal with the bus? So that's enough of that. I'm going to enjoy my cheese and crackers, boys and girls. Cheers. So I'm in, I'm warm, I've had a snack, I've had my coffee. I think the truck on this side is staying for the night, and I'm okay with that. And he must be okay with me. The only problem I'm having is this whole roof is plastic. I have a USB fan, and I failed to bring that with me. So I have about a 1/2-inch crack on this window and on that window. I will not sleep with that fireplace on. Certainly not. A, it's not safe. B, I'm so close to it. My foot right now is less than a foot away from it. It's turned way down low, but it's putting out some heat. It is not a permanent solution for here, but it'll get me through till we get into some warmer months coming up. It's almost the end of February. That's a beautiful thing. So we've got 1 week to go. Spring is around the corner, and we will do some more adventuring. I am going to shut this off and kick back, maybe enjoy a movie. It's still early. I don't think it's 7 o'clock yet. My watch is the phone. So, it's funny. I must have 100 watches at home. I love watches. I just don't wear them very often. I need to do something about that. But that being said, if anything goes on, I'll bring you back. I haven't even heard a siren from the sheriff's office. Not a thing. I think the cars go out the other side, but I have not heard anything. That's a fairly busy little 24-hour quick trip over there. It's busy, and it does get some truck traffic and things through, but it's a nice, quiet place to be. I am impressed. So far, so good, but hey, we'll see what happens in the middle of the night. Anything exciting, I will bring you guys back. With that, I'll talk to you in the morning when it's daylight out. Good morning, everybody. Pretty much an uneventful night. About 3 a.m. there were a couple of cars in the parking lot making a little bit of noise, but I think they were all parking and just BSing, waiting for their ride to show up. This is actually a park and ride, and there are a few around town, and I've done this in a couple of them. We do have two Walmarts here. One, there is absolutely no overnight parking, and it's probably not in a part of town I'd want to park overnight there anyway. We really don't have a real bad part of town here. It's pretty cool. The other one is south of town, and I do believe we will be giving that a try here soon. I got to tell you something on stealth camping. You know, I love Steve Willis. Excuse me. He's got some cool stuff. The last one I watched was, I believe he was camping in the back of a dump truck. And I think he's got a new one out since then. You'll never see me doing that stuff. I probably won't be camping in a roundabout or a forest next to a neighborhood. That's his niche. Knock yourself out, Steve. I love you, brother. I love watching his stuff, though. I catch that every week. I did last night after I turned the camera off, and after I had my coffee and my evening snack, I kicked back and watched an episode of Ice Grip Garage. So that was fun, and went to sleep. I had mentioned in the video on that electric blanket that darn near caught me on fire. The problem is my feet. I do have circulation issues from advanced diabetes. So all I did last night, just to keep it really simple, I took one of these hand warmers, dropped it in just this little stuffed sack from an old electric blanket that died and I threw away, and put that in the bottom of my sleeping bag. Now, one catch, this is the low last night was 20 degrees. This is a 20-degree sleeping bag. But, you know, that is survival rate, and I would die in that thing at 20 degrees, I'm sure, because I don't have the circulation to deal with that. When you read those ratings on sleeping bags, there's a comfort rating, there's a survival rating, and then there's one other number in there that you rarely see, and I don't know what that is. So you need to, when you read them, are they talking comfort? Are they talking survival? I don't know if there's any uniform test. It's a shot in the dark. This Kelty is 550 downfill. The replacement for this one is the Cosmic 20, they call this, is only a 500 downfill, and they still rate it for 20 survival. I use a sleeping bag liner, and I've showed you those before. The catch is you want to climb into the liner and then climb into the bag, or it would be very hard to do them both at the same time. Which means if you have to get up in the night, for whatever reason we get up in the night, and nature call, kind of a pain in the ass getting back in bed, to tell you the truth, but hey, it is what it is. All is well. I have tents that I'm dying to get out and use. Some gear I want to test. You did see the fireplace up last night. I have to say this with the fireplace. When I decided to take it down, I shut it off. When I popped that quick coupling to take that 5-foot line off, I got 5 feet of propane kind of dispersed into the air. And in 20-degree weather, granted I have the windows open a crack, and that ended up bending it out, but man, that was obnoxious. But I'm really debating, I love the heat it puts out, but do I have the real estate in here for that? I honestly don't know. It may or may not go back out with me again. It is a cool thing to have. And the reason I bought that originally, I think I told you that in the last video, was just to have something to contribute to our occasional evening get-togethers on the road when we'd sit around between a few trucks and have a few drinks. And I'm the guy who doesn't drink, so I don't bring any beer or booze to the party. So hey, at least I can bring a little fire. But we had a lot of fun. I'm going to have a protein bar, pull the rest of these Reflectix, fire it up, and get down the road. I do want to make one comment on these Reflectix before I do. Now, I had the Chrysler minivan, the 2011, before this. And these are leftover pieces of this particular reflective. Leftover pieces of that. And it's rigid. It's hard to bend. It was probably 20 bucks a roll. I really don't remember. It took a lot to cover a minivan, and I never did get the back window covered. So I saw this new stuff on sale at, this was Home Depot, and it was like $8.99 a roll, but it is nowhere near. That just flops. Just flops. Now that I've got duct tape on that side, but you can't do that on this one. This is much stiffer. When I go to put this stiffer one in, it stays in place. When I go to put these in, it's a little bit of a work of art to get them to stay. For now, this is a Run What You Brung YouTube channel, meaning pretty much everything I have, I've already had. Part of the reason for that is when I came home in December and we decided we made the decision in October, my wife and I, that I would take retirement a year early and retire at 64. So I worked till the end of the year and then put in, the end of December, I put in for Social Security to begin in January. And their website says the average request takes about 30 days to get an answer. And it's been 60, and I'm guessing a piece of that is the election. I don't know. Apparently, when they do grant it, which grants something I've been paying into for 50 plus years, it retros to the day you apply, so there's some back checks coming. But it is a pain in the butt, so we're pulling off a savings I didn't want to have to get into too much, but I can put those back when the money comes in. But meanwhile, the spend is a little tight. And then I'm limited to what I can earn this year because of that. And I will do some part-time work. So that should be coming up in March. A lot of things going on there. But I'm so glad you joined me. This trip has been a success. I didn't hear a single siren all night. Somebody had mentioned that is also a business office and justice center. So I don't know if there's a jail in there or not. It's a big enough building to have a small county jail. I would believe there could be. I don't know if a lot of cars are dispatched out of there. There's always during the day police cars all around. There's sheriff's cars and some other police cars coming in and out from the city and other surrounding areas. So it was a busy place, but it was an uneventful night. The place behind me is the assisted living facility. That was all lit up when I finally covered my back window. I don't think anybody out there is looking out the window wondering what's going on. And it's, a good block and a half away. But as for the place to park, it was good. So I'm going to finish my coffee, and what do you say we get the hell out of Dodge? So I'll turn that heater off, get rid of a little noise. We have everything all packed up, as packed up as it's going to be for now. And it is time to head for home. It's kind of quiet in here. There are a lot of cars. Most of them I didn't hear. There's one right here next to me, and I never heard them back in. It's an old Buick. The little SUV that was parked when we pulled in last night, it's still there, and I think I heard somebody come and pick him up during the night. So that was probably the noise. Now, straight ahead from me, the last time I was here, and I told you guys I did this a couple of weeks ago and then got called away and had to return home to take care of a family matter. In that corner there was a blue Volkswagen, I forget what you call them. They're the little Vanagon front ends and motorhome back end. Pretty nice. I've seen that one in a couple of other places that I have camped for the night from time to time. And there we are. Sheriff's Department. It looks like they're fully staffed. It's interesting when I look because this first row of cars right in front of us, those Dodges, the Charger, and then all of the other ones, those are definitely government vehicles. They look brand new. They're not plated yet. But I'm wondering if that's like an investigation division or something. Because during the day, I'll see police cars behind it and around it. But During the night, I might have heard one siren, and it was way off in the distance. By siren, I know I heard a siren, but that could have very well been a fire truck or something to that effect. Just not a real high crime area in Green Bay. I don't let the word out on that because we don't need 1 million people moving here. I am going to zip on into the old Quick Trip up here and maybe grab a quick cup of coffee and then head for home. I love Quick Trip. They are, I overshot the drive. We'll circle around. They are by far my favorite convenience store. Truckers out there on the road, you get into Wisconsin or anywhere where there's a Quick Trip, they are Quick Star in Iowa. If you get a chance to stop at one of those, you can stock up on a few groceries. Their prices are a whole lot more reasonable. People actually stop there for things like milk and eggs back when they used to be in abundance and stuff like that. But it's not a bad place to stop and do a little bit of quick shopping. It beats the heck out of 7-Eleven and some of those with everything's twice as high. Not a bad place to hit. You know, one of the reasons I don't do a little bit more winter camping is I just don't have the gear for it yet. Winter stuff is a little more expensive and it takes time to accumulate. I've spent some time getting the camping gear I have together, on top of collecting the things we need for our camp spot, and because we do have our little 18-foot trailer. Actually, it's a 21-foot trailer, 18 feet of living space. Something rattling good back there, but you know, we've accumulated enough stuff to have a good time out there on the weekend too. What would you rather see next, a road trip or a camping trip? Leave a note in the comments and I'll see what I can pull off, because we're getting to the time of year where there's some spots open. There's not a lot of dispersed camping close to Green Bay, and some of those are not maintained, so they're still going to be covered with snow because they're farther north. But there are some good camp spots available. So yeah, leave a note in the comments. Road trip, camp trip, you pick. And with that, I am going to go grab my cup of coffee and head for home. We will see you all in the next video. If you've watched this far through, please hit like and subscribe. Those subscriptions are what I need to succeed.